Good afternoon. I'm Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins, and we are here this afternoon to address a challenge that's presented by the lack of our digital connectivity, talk about an exciting partnership with the Westchester County Association, our Westchester Library System, the STEM Alliance, and with funding that's provided by our colleagues on the County Board of Legislators to announce and talk about a sweeping new digital literacy program and digital access initiative, Connect Westchester. This is going to be the largest countywide dedicated program to bridge the digital divide by providing essential digital resources to low-income residents. This particular program is so exciting for all of us because we've been doing so many of these pieces together for many years. So we're going to look at, from the pandemic perspective, that the digital equity issues, it impacts the ability of our community members to reach those critical life resources, such as school portals, which we found out during the pandemic, education, job applications, telehealth, online banking, and so much more. One of the biggest pieces that we learned from COVID was how critical it was to have good access to the internet. And many families struggle with remote learning just because they didn't have devices available or reliable Wi-Fi. This new initiative will serve strategically selected, high-need communities to connect our residents to affordable, reliable internet through the Federal Affordability Connectivity Program and provide devices and basic digital skills to all of our residents. So again, this new program is going to be implemented as a partnership between the county, the STEM Alliance, the Westchester County Association, and the Westchester Library System to all help members of our community make a significant step forward. We certainly are going to have many members speaking with us this afternoon, and we want to make sure to recognize at least some folks that are here in the room with us that are going to have an opportunity to speak should they choose. And what is our good friend, Assemblyman Steve Otis, who's been a leader in this particular space for a very, very long time. So we're going to ask him to speak a little bit later on. What we're going to do at this point in time, pass over to our good friend Bridget Gibbons, who is our Director of Economic Development, to speak a little bit about the program, and then we'll be back.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Deputy County Executive. As Ken mentioned, the COVID pandemic really highlighted the challenges that many families faced with not having devices at home or not having productive Wi-Fi. Students were trying to do their homework on their phones, and it just didn't work. And so coming out of that, we realized that it was a massive problem for Westchester that we had to address. A few facts about Westchester: approximately 45,000 residents do not own a computer. Approximately 75,000 residents do not have internet access in their house. And of those with internet access, 76% have a household income of $75,000 or less, showing that affordable connectivity is an issue. So, to address this challenge, we are thankfully partnering with the STEM Alliance, the Westchester County Association, the Westchester Library System, to provide training and devices. So a device without knowing how to use it isn't going to do anybody any good, and without access to Wi-Fi. So really the enabling of supporting people to get access through the Affordable Connectivity Program. We know that there hasn't been enough uptake on that offering, and people just don't know about it. That's what I've been learning from Meg, is it's out there, people don't know about it. So we need to get the word out there, get people signed up, and then get them trained on a device so that they can be productive and really be, have access to all those things that Ken mentioned, school portals, education, healthcare, telehealth, et cetera. We are excited to have this partnership with these great organizations. We're thankful to them for their critical expertise. We could not do this without them. So if you are interested in signing up for Connect Westchester training sessions at your local library, you can email the Westchester Library System at connectwestchester@wlsmail.org. That's connectwestchester@wlsmail.org, or go to the stemalliance.org/connect-westchester, or you can call me at 995-2952. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bridget. And again, we have so many great partners that are with us this afternoon. We're going to start by asking one of those partners that does so much tremendous work on so many different initiatives to come up and give us a few words. And that is my good friend, the president of the Westchester County Association, Mike Remeda. Mike, come on up.
Well, thank you, Ken, and thank you, Bridget, for making this day possible. Also, thanks to County Executive Latimer, members of the county legislature. I see Catherine Parker just showed up, the other Catherine Borgia, Vidette Gashi, everybody who basically saw this vision come together. Look, it's a simple premise that we started with. The more people that you can get connected to the internet and the new economy, not only is it better for the individual, not only is it better for their community, it's better for the economy. The WCA is a business-focused organization, but we understand that digital equity and digital access is incredibly important for businesses as well as individuals in the county, and that's why we kind of brought this idea together. So we applied for a federal grant along with our partners at the STEM Alliance, at YPI, at Fordham University, the city of Yonkers, and other community groups to try and collectively and collaboratively bring this idea to fruition. We piloted this in Yonkers, an organizational effort called the Y Zone. The outcomes were unbelievable. I think that Meg will talk a little bit more of this when she gets her podium time from the STEM Alliance, but you can look at the leave behinds and you can see what it's done. And because of the positive results that we had in Yonkers, the county saw the potential to expand this countywide and provided funding to really morph and change and evolve the Y Zone, which was one community, into something that's a countywide initiative. I also want to recognize some of the private sector partners in the room today, not only the carriers, Crown Castle and AT&T, members of our healthcare community, and many of our other businesses who understand that this is very important for the business economy. Digital connectivity is one of the WCA's foundational pillars for strengthening the regional economy. But it takes more than talk. It takes action, and it takes tangible results. These are the hallmarks of what we do, and it's through these partnerships, and in this case, the private sector, the public sector, the nonprofit community, other community groups, higher education, and government, all coming together to make this possible. We're excited to see where this leads us, and we're excited to see what's next. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We certainly would be remiss, and as Mike pointed out, we are joined here by the Chief Information Officer, the IT Director, our good friend Bob Case down from the city of Yonkers, that's here with us this afternoon, right? And talking about the pilot program that started in the city of Yonkers. At this particular point in time, we want to bring up another friend of ours, someone that's worked so well with the many initiatives that we've done so many times that start out in the libraries, right? We heard so many people throughout the pandemic that were sitting outside of those libraries to try to get internet service for whatever things they had to do for their children. When things happen in a community, the power goes out, you'll see a lot of people hanging around in the library if it has power and getting generated to make sure that things happen. So with that, let me bring up the Westchester Library System President, a good friend, Terry Kirshner. Terry.
Good afternoon. Really just want to thank everyone again for all of your support. I have to say the Westchester County as a whole, be legislators, executive team, nonprofits, we've all been working together very hard for a long period of time, and it really shows. At the libraries, we're fortunate, we're in every community, and it's one of our blessings, but it's also one of the challenges. And we discover that as individuals come in for one question, oftentimes it leads to many, many others. And I think as we've done more and more work with the internet, and to be quite honest, we've had the internet since the internet was born. I mean, we've sort of always been the go-to place for those without access. But you realize one question then leads you to, a different county service. I need something from DSS. I need something from senior programs. We're that link. And this program, I think, will do a great job as we work with WCA and the STEM Alliance and the county to really think about how can we have a more holistic approach. It's yes, we need to focus on the economy because the economy makes everything possible. But we really have to focus on what it says here, the boundless potential. How do we make sure that everyone has the opportunity to be the best that they can be? And I think this program will do it for us. So thank you.
Thank you, Terry. And again, there's so many connections that we have here in Westchester throughout the nonprofit community, whether it's the government communities, whether it's everyone working together. At this point in time, I want to make sure that we also recognize in the room hanging out with us is the Executive Director of the Westchester Putnam Workforce Investment Board. Say that 3 times fast. Tom Kleiner is here. Let's make sure that Tom is with the connections again to make sure things happen. So this year, I believe, because I know I saw the outstanding things that have been happening with the STEM Alliance. It's 10 years, and I'm sure that Meg is going to tell us again how much has happened in those 10 years. But again, the kind of organization that could help pull all these things together and that's been doing tremendous work in this area. And again, congratulations on that 10-year anniversary. Let's bring up at this time our STEM Alliance President, Meg Kaufner.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today. Before I make a couple comments, my job is to really tell you what this is going to look like granularly on the ground. I do also really want to mention Chris Fisher because in his role with the WCA, he was part of the original grant for the Y Zone that made this possible. So Chris, thank you for the late night grant writing sessions. So I am president of the STEM Alliance. The STEM Alliance is a nonprofit that's focused on creating economic opportunity through science, technology, engineering, and math skills. We are also the county's leading provider of digital equity and inclusion services. For the Connect Westchester initiative, we are the programmatic implementation on the ground. We're going to be helping folks get connected. So I want to really describe that for you. Connect Westchester is what's called a digital navigator program. This is a model that was developed nationally, and it helps people one-to-one get the resources they need. Through this model, the STEM Alliance has trained staff, digital navigators, who can come alongside residents and help them first identify their needs. Do they have internet assistance needs? Do they have device needs? Do they have skills needs? Or do they have some combination of those needs? So let's look a little bit at each area. If a resident has a device ownership need, then what do we do for them? It's important to pause and realize that device ownership alone can be all that someone needs. Lack of device ownership means that people are missing out on ongoing job development skills. They're missing out on healthcare. They're missing out on actually savings. Like a lot of the savings that we do in our budget is because we source costs online. So cell phones are not the same as full screen keyboard devices. So one of the things that this program is going to do is help people where that is the only need that they have. We're going to help them connect with that solution, predominantly providing Chromebooks when that need is identified. So what about skills? How do we assist with skills? For clients who have limited to no computer experience, we lead what we call tech education cohorts. They're usually about 10 or 15 individuals who are going to be doing 15 hours of basic tech education. We teach on the Google platform. It's free, and it's very comparable to all of the workforce platforms that we're aware of. So we teach everything from Google Docs to Slides, Sheets, which is very important for budget and developing your own entrepreneurial businesses or working in business, and then also Zoom and Google Calendar. So we have seen with those 15 hours that our clients are expressing 91% confidence of using a computer after the class. More importantly, when you compare before and after, they are tripling their confidence on those specific platforms, tripling their confidence on Sheets, tripling their confidence on Google Docs, and so forth. Upon completing the class, the client also exits with full ownership of a Chromebook. So then the last category is the internet assistance. What is the service that we're providing? As has been mentioned here today, device access and skills alone are not enough. We need to make sure that folks have affordable internet. That is right now best achieved through what's called the Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP. This program provides a $30 discount on monthly internet for eligible families, which is typically identified through income. So who qualifies? Eligibility is very often verified through programs that already exist. So if a client, for example, uses SNAP or free and reduced lunch or Medicaid, then they are already by definition eligible. Another category, for example, is homes where there's a Pell Grant recipient, which is obviously very important for our students who are in college. So Connect Westchester is going to work in two ways to broaden or increase ACP enrollment here in our community. First, we need to get the word out, and that's going to be our digital navigators being in key locations ranging from job fairs to Department of Social Services to college campuses to make sure that people know about the program. Information is obviously power. The second is that we have the ability, many people, by the way, can register on their own. It's called getinternet.gov. And if you need help right now, you can go there on your own. But it is a digital portal to get verified. And so the second aspect of our work is coming alongside clients one-to-one with our digital navigators, helping them get through that enrollment process. We can also assist them then taking that benefit and transferring it to their internet service provider contract. So as you can see, Connect Westchester truly is historic. This is a wraparound digital inclusion program across the county. Let me tell you that if you are someone with help, how can you get help? All of our work is implemented through local partnerships, and our key partner in this work is the Westchester Library Systems. If you need help, your starting point is your librarian, and you probably know that already for many things that you need. So at this stage, we have a couple of primary implementation sites: Bedford Hills Free Library, Greenberg Public Library, New Rochelle Public Library, Port Chester Rybrook Public Library, White Plains Public Library. You can also reach out via email, which was already stated, connectwestchester@wlsmail.org. And if you don't want to reach Bridget on her phone, you can reach one of our digital navigators, which I'm training her. She's in training. 914-674-4186. Again, 914-674-4186. I just want to close by really reiterating that this is also a special week for this announcement. We nationally are celebrating National Digital Inclusion Week, and it is very fitting that this announcement is coming right now. This is truly a one-of-a-kind initiative across the state that our county is stepping forward and making such a large investment in digital equity. The problem seems complex to help people with the digital divide, but the solution really is simple. It's Connect Westchester, bringing digital equity access for all.
Thanks, Meg. And again, this is the kind of example of the kind of work that happens here in Westchester, certainly in the County Executive George Latimer's leadership, to make sure that we've been able to connect everyone, because we have a lot of time to connect. And as one of those people that used to stand behind a Genius Bar at one point in time, I certainly understand, and thank you so much for having a program like this, because it is so incredibly helpful for everyone, especially in the communities that are being targeted, to make sure that we're able to have people have access. At this point in time, I want to bring up one of those other partners, and the two of them together, because they're for the County Board of Legislators. And as both George and myself are both members and former members of the Westchester County Board of Legislators, we know how each and every day those colleagues that we have now on the Board of Legislators do a tremendous job listening to their constituent needs and trying to pull things together. And a lot of times that's working through the funding opportunities that we have in the budget process and being able to target certain things. So with that, I want to bring up both County Legislator Catherine Parker and County Legislator Simmer Brandon to share their thoughts at this particular point in time on this outstanding opportunity with Connect Westchester.
Thank you.
Sim.
Thank you very much, Deputy County Executive. I will just start with saying Westchester is thriving. That's a phrase that we say very often around here, and we know that we are always looking at opportunity to really make sure that when we say Westchester is thriving, we mean everyone, that we are looking at everybody and raising everybody. I've been very fortunate in my 10 years representing District 7 for Westchester County that I got to meet Meg Koifer and the STEM Alliance when she was really, focused in our area, and yet she had this vision of seeing that digital equity was really the key to so much. Partnerships with another visionary in Westchester County, Michael Ramita, who with the Westchester County Association understands this connection between getting everybody in a place where they're thriving and the economic development opportunities, and that the investment that we as government partners make, we get the return on investment. We see it, we know it, we understand giving people that freedom, that independence to tap into services, to tap into learning opportunities that our partners in economic development, like Bridget Gibbons and Tom, what they do and it's really the modern day version of teach a man to fish. And we are very fortunate that, again, there are so many people in Westchester that share the vision. I'm looking at Chris Fisher. So truly, it is a wonderful example. I'm thrilled that, during our budget process, I thank the County Executive George Latimer and the executive team for really getting it right from the very beginning and being supportive and helping to grow this. So thank you very much.
Thank you. It's interesting. I'm the new person on the block, and I've only been around a couple of weeks, right? But I have to tell you that when you talk about the digital divide, it's really necessary to make sure that that gap is shortened. I come from the city of Yonkers. You know what the city of Yonkers is like. And there are so many individuals and families who do not have access to what they need to even catch up. So to have a program like this is just wonderful, and I'm so happy that we have decided to invest in such a program that would make sure the digital divide is shortened. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. So one last partner, again, is because we do these things and we don't do anything by ourselves. And that's been kind of the hallmark that we've had here under the Latimer administration, to make sure that everyone feels that they're included, because they are, right? And making sure that we're partnering not with just our business community, with the county association, with the Westchester Library System, with STEM Alliance, with many other partners that are here in the room with us today, to make sure that we're moving forward. But we also have our partners both at the federal and the state level, and we happen to have one with here today, Steve Otis, who's been a champion of this particular issue, fighting mightily at the state level to deal with the digital divide. Steve.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you. We have in this room the all-star team for the region in terms of getting this done. And congratulations to the County Board of Legislators, to Ken, to George Latimer, to Bridget, because Westchester County is doing what every county in the state, every county in the country should be doing, which is galvanizing what we know works and getting it out there to people that need these services. I chair the committee in the State Assembly on Science and Technology and got hooked into the digital inclusion world a few years ago, mostly because of Meg teaching me, and maybe taught many of you all this stuff. But the key thing to remember is, and there are activities all over the state, libraries are a huge part of it. Westchester County Association and the Y Zone Project is really cutting edge stuff. But here's the message. The big message is that there are tremendous inequities in our society, and some of them are harder to conquer than others. This is an inequity we can do something about. We know how to do it. It involves what Meg mentioned, device, broadband access, and the training to empower individuals to be able to do what they can do for healthcare, for job training, for education, for everything else that we need to survive. So Westchester County deserves great credit for coming up, stepping up, pulling it all together, galvanizing this effort here better than anyone else in the state is doing so far. It should be a model. Congratulations to all of you. It is so important because we are going to save lives, opportunities, careers in so many different ways by empowering people and getting these tools and these skills out there, individual by individual. Thank you, Ken. Are you okay? Here also with us, we have a federal person. Were you going to introduce or no? Okay. So we have Jodia Vanell, who is the New York federal, works for NTIA, which is a big federal player, federal agency to get this federal money out to help these things. And Jodia is the New York State Program Director for these activities. We see her all over the place. She is out there. She is out bringing the federal dollars, but also bringing her great expertise towards making sure that these programs get off the ground well. So thank you for joining us here in Westchester. Great to see you.
Jody, would you like to say something, especially because I know how hard you work? You had the opportunity, both for Steve and myself, to be present at the presentation that you did to talk about the national program.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to respectfully
Decline. Okay. She's respectfully
Everything has to be approved.
Somehow I know a little bit about that. So, but again, we want to thank everyone again, because again, it shows the level of partnership that has to work in order to make a difference. And for us here in Westchester County, especially under the leadership of George Latimer, with the partners that we have, that not only our County Board of Legislators, chaired by the Honorable Vedat Gashi, all of our county employees, our fact that we talk with our county association, our good friend Mike Ramita, with the STEM Alliance, Meg and Terry Kirshner with the Westchester Library System, we know that it all comes together for all of us to make sure that we're making a difference, as Legislator Brandon so aptly put it, for the difference for everyday people on an everyday basis, what we can do. It's not something that we have to think about. We have to continue to make those levels of investments. We've been able to do that here in Westchester County, and we certainly appreciate all of the work. So get going. Let's go connect Westchester, right? You can get on the website to move forward. With that, I'm Ken Jenkins, Deputy County Executive. Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you soon.